Let's go across to Rajiv Mishra, who's joining us from outside the famous Lord's venue. Atul Vasan, former India cricketer, and Ayaz Memon, sports journalist, also with us. Rajiv, I come to you first up. Is there going to be any concerns over the weather today?
देखिए 9 बजे तक तो शिवानी था कि वेदर थोड़ा सा ओवरकास्ट रहेगा, लेकिन अभी बिल्कुल जब से आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ तो थोड़े से बादल हटे हैं और यहाँ पे जो फोरकास्ट है वो अब पूरे दिन क्लियर रहना है। तो मैच तो होगा, देखिए लंच तक ही टाइम चाहिए, वो चाहे इंग्लैंड जीते या इंडिया जीते, लंच तक का ही टाइम चाहिए। तो अभी हाल फिलहाल वेदर को लेके कोई परेशानी नहीं है यहाँ पे
जी। Okay, let me go across to our experts joining us as well. Rajiv, just stay with me. Of course, lots more to talk about. Atul Vasan, centurion from the first innings. KL Rahul, is it really all on his shoulder, do you think? Or do you think he can have able support as far as the remaining 135 runs are concerned?
Well, it shouldn't be, but looks like it because he's got the maturity, he's got the temperament, he's got that gravitas who can take us through. But I'm telling you, this 135 runs is equivalent to almost 250 runs, probably more, because of the games pitch is playing, the kind of history we've got. I remember my thoughts go back to that day in West Indies few series ago when we needed 120 runs and we capitulated for 80 runs. Tendulkar feels that is the darkest day of his cricket career. But I'm just not going to play a spoil sport. I'm just feeling optimistic because, it's just like 20-30 runs. And we've got that magic player, Rishabh Pant. I mean, he's the Pablo in the mix. I think if Rishabh Pant gets about half an hour, 40 minutes in the mix, then the game is ours.
Let's not forget, even Ayaz, you've got the likes of Nitish Reddy, Ravindra Jadeja. I remember in the 2014 win at Lord's, and I was there in England covering that series. He had a role to play with the bat at this exact venue. He's actually possibly the only one remaining from that era in this Indian team, in the Test team. So there's a lot of experience, to be honest. The tail is not that bad as it sometimes looks.
It has been understood.
Actually, there's a lot of batting heft that India has got. You've got Rishabh Pant to join Rahul now, and then there's Jadeja, there's Nitish Kumar Reddy, and Washington Sundar, all of whom can bat. But I take, the point that was made by Atul, that if you have 35-40 minutes of Rishabh Pant unfettered, he'll give you a good 25-30. A little bit like what Harry Brooks tried yesterday. He got 23. Of course, he fell to a very poor stroke. I think the issue here, Shivani, is going to be the margin for error is so minuscule on this pitch that you have to be watchful, but at the same time, you can't be overly defensive and you get bogged down because you get an unplayable delivery and that's the end. That's the end of you. So, I think you have to strike a good balance. Survival instincts have to be strong and you need a little luck, of course.
So could it be, Atul Vasan, that the strategy can be that KL Rahul kind of prizes his wicket, he maintains one end, but maybe the other one can go for a little bit? Because if you take that pressure off, then, right now the England bowling attack has their tail up. But if you take that pressure off with a quick fire 20-25 runs, the pressure will be right back on them.
Well, you're right theoretically, but Ayaz Memon and myself have seen a lot of cricket. We have seen, and he's right actually. If we keep on playing and just to survive, and KL Rahul to just dab it along for
no. That's not what I meant. I'm not saying just dab it along. That's definitely risky in Test cricket. But yes, he should prize his wicket and not play any loose shots.
No. The loose shots is a very relative term. Ayaz, what he meant to say was that if you just play within your shell, in this case, and everybody plays that, then you are 100% losing the game. You've got to take your chances. There's a ball to be hit. Play the ball, not the bowler, not the situation. And I think only few players have got the clarity of thought in the Indian team. I think KL Rahul has got that temperament, as I said already. And so his game is not to play the way we are saying. It is only Rishabh Pant's game to play like that. And if he can get away with it for half an hour or so, the game is ours.
The game is ours. Well, this is also a time for KL Rahul. And of course, if Rishabh Pant does what he's expected to do, to really register themselves in the annals of Indian cricket history. Because if they manage to do what our experts are talking about, this is going to be a great famous win at Lord's. It also gives India a 2-1 lead in the 5-match series. And that is going to be absolutely spectacular going into the next match. But Rajiv, lots of discussion, lots of chatter, if I may use the term, about the sledging going on in this match. From day 3 to day 4, it's expected the English bowlers or the English team will bring it on as the Indian batsmen come out today.
बिल्कुल शिवानी, और जो भारतीय टीम के साथ मोमेंटम गया, अगर आप तीसरे दिन के शाम का जो इवेंट था अगर उसको देखें, जब एक तरह से शुभमन गिल जाके इंग्लैंड के ओपनर से भिड़े और फिर चौथे दिन जब खेल खत्म हो रहा था तो फिर एग्जैक्टली वही हुआ आकाशदीप और जब के राहुल बल्लेबाजी कर रहे थे तो इंग्लैंड के फील्डर्स जाके उनसे टसल करते हुए नजर आए। और ये सीधा संकेत है कि जैसा अतुल भाई कह रहे हैं कि 135 रन नहीं बचे हुए हैं, दरअसल ये 235 रन या 250 रन है, क्योंकि एक एक रन के लिए यहाँ पे लड़ाई होनी है। और हम लोग क्योंकि मैदान पे है, देख रहे हैं, आप लोग तो ब्रेक आते हैं बीच में दिखता नहीं है, लेकिन वो जो ब्रेक के दौरान जो कुछ चल रहा है वहां पे, वो सीरियसली इस टेस्ट मैच को रियल टेस्ट मैच बना रहा है। और ये सिर्फ टेक्निक और शॉट्स में टाइमिंग का मसला नहीं है, टेम्परामेंट का बहुत बड़ा मसला बन गया है इस टेस्ट मैच में कि आपका टेम्परामेंट कितना अच्छा है। और इनिशियली हाफ एन आवर जो पहला होने वाला है, अगर उस मोमेंटम को कैरी किया इंग्लैंड के गेंदबाजों ने, तो मे बी एक बहुत ही टफ टेस्ट मैच भारत को यहाँ पे फेस करना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि तीसरे दिन के चौथे दिन का पहला जो सेशन था, हम सबने देखा जब सिराज और जसप्रीत बुमराह या आकाशदीप गेंदबाजी कर रहे थे, वो तीसरे दिन के शाम का मोमेंटम लेके आए थे। क्योंकि वो जो कुछ चल रहा था वो आपके जहन में रहता है, और वो एग्जैक्टली आपकी बॉलिंग में नजर आ रहा था, बैटिंग में नजर आ रहा था। और वो ये डोमिनेटिंग लड़ाई थी जो आप देखिए, हैरी ब्रूक्स से शॉट को देख लीजिए, या जो रूट को देखिए, या बेन स्टोक्स से देखिए, सबने डोमिनेट करने की कोशिश में अपनी विकेट को गंवाया और वहां से इंग्लैंड पूरी तरह से बैकफुट पे चला गया।
नहीं तो ये बेन स्टोक्स और शुभमन गिल के बीच में भी जो हो रहा था कल, स्लेजिंग जो बेन स्टोक्स कर रहे थे, उसकी भी बहुत बात हो रही है, वो फुटेज भी वायरल हो रही है। लॉट्स ऑफ प्रेशर इट्स फेल्ट दैट देयर वाज ऑन शुभमन गिल। और कुछ लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि वो थोड़ा ज्यादा अग्रेसिव हो गए थे, मे बी दैट अफेक्टेड हिज बैटिंग, ही हैज टू फिगर आउट व्हाट वर्क्स फॉर हिम। राजीव, फर्स्ट यू गो, देन आई विल टेक इट टू आवर एक्सपर्ट्स एज वेल।
देखिए, शुभमन गिल के लिए मुझे जो लग रहा है, पता नहीं अतुल भाई शायद इससे एग्री करेंगे, कि थोड़ा सा उनकी जो टेक्निक को मे भी थोड़ा सा देखा गया उनके वीडियोस, और दोनों इनिंग्स में अगर आप देखें जो उनके आउट होने का पैटर्न है, एक तरीके का फील्ड प्लेसमेंट की वजह से उनको प्रेशर में डाला जा रहा है। अगर आप सेकेंड इनिंग्स में भी देखें, जो पवेलियन एंड से जो गेंदबाजी हो रही, जिधर स्लोप है थोड़ा, और सबको पता है उधर से बॉल अंदर आएगा थोड़ा तेज, पहले करुण नायर आउट हुए, फिर शुभमन गिल आउट हुए, तो इंग्लैंड शायद ज्यादा बेहतर स्ट्रैटेजी के साथ आ रहा है शुभमन गिल के खिलाफ। और वो देखिए प्रेशर तो बना ही रहे, आपके सीरीज में अगर सबसे ज्यादा रन बनाने वाले बैट्समैन है तो ऑटोमेटिक आप पे प्रेशर क्रिएट किया जाएगा, और वही एग्जैक्टली इंग्लैंड की टीम कर रही है यहाँ पर। शुभमन गिल को प्रेशर में ले रहे हैं, उनको पता है कि शुभमन गिल ऊपर की तरफ से रन बना रहे हैं और नीचे जडेजा। तो मेरे लिए तो एक्चुअली बैटिंग अब शुरू होगी जब जडेजा आएंगे, 3 हाफ सेंचुरीज लेके आएंगे बैटिंग करने। तो एक्चुअल बैटिंग मेरे लिए तो इंडिया की अब शुरू हो रही है जब जडेजा, वाशिंगटन सुंदर और नीतीश रेड्डी आएंगे, और मे बी वहां तक नंबर ना आए, लेकिन मुझे लग रहा है ये टेस्ट मैच बहुत ही क्लोज इनकाउंटर होने वाला है यहाँ पे।
What do you think? You know, all of this sledging, this mind games that are going on, who's really come out on tops?
I love it. This is the quintessential test cricket I want to see. Sledging, there's physical contact is something else.
Yeah.
But I think if you come hard down or by the match referees and then ICC or sledging, I think this takes the tadka out of the test cricket. And I think what a fabulous series we've had. These 3 test matches all going to 5 days, last session. Can you imagine, we have never seen a series like this. So I think this is a perfect example of test cricket. Having said that, I don't agree that, our batting, I mean, yes, our tail has been not that good in this series, and they've just stuck to their, definition, which is tail. But I think, you think England would have slept nicely? No, because they know there are only 3 wickets. It's not 58 for 4. It's 58 for 3. Let's say this. So I think Rishabh Pant must be giving sleepless night. I think he's the key factor. If he stays around, KL just blocks the thing. And, if he just goes his audacious shots, couple of them, it might just push them back. It's not just what you have to say to the players, or glare, or sledge, or sarcasm. It is the way you play and treat the bowlers. Or if you're batting, if you're bowling, treat the batsman. I mean, that shows it. You've got to walk the talk. You can't just, use the lip and not do anything else after that.
No, absolutely. That's what Test cricket is all about. But I asked lots of comparisons being made between Gill and Virat Kohli.
Yeah, they are. Look, I personally feel that perhaps trifle overdone. Shubman Gill, Siraj declaring war at Lords on the English team, I can understand. He's a feisty guy. Shubman Gill, little out of character. Yes, the captain has to be aggressive. He has to be there, leading by example, also by guidance. I think the manner in which he came out, I possibly, I would think that it cost him his wicket and sent a little kind of stutter in the dressing room. And then you had, Akashdeep coming out. In the good old days, Atul might bear me out. If you got a batting lineup which has Nitish Kumar Reddy and Washington Sundar coming at number 7 and 8, you would have probably chosen one of them to come out and bat.